have since graduated with such legacied careers. And so even though you're right, it's such a young team right now, the foundation had been laid in years prior for this BYU squad.
We are underway here in Provo. A rainy pregame. They had the players off the pitch for quite a while during a torrential downpour with some lightning, but all the weather cleared and we are good to go. And BYU into the attacking half with Fryer working the left side. Overlapping is Freeman, but Fryer will take it herself to the edge of the box. A touchback to Presley Freeman, the Georgia rookie. And a tap out of bounds over the byline. Officials tonight, Rachel Sweat is the referee. AR1, Joshua Mills. AR2, Taylor Polson. The fourth official is David Wright. Keeper for Wyoming, Haley Bartell, the 5'7" sophomore, got 8 starts last year. Was not the preferred keeper, was the number 2. But got some good game action. First minute of play here at Southfield, where more than 50,000 fans packed the stands last year to lead the nation in total attendance. Bedard flips the pitch. Centrally Linder. The play left. Service from the left and a clean head toward frame, but a glancer right. And a goal kick for BYU early. Nice build up. And playing off the head of Alyssa Bedard for the reset. Emma Neff at right back. Will tap back to Frischneck. Frischneck and Warner, the center back duo for Jen Rockwood. A good win in the middle. And an interception with the Cowgirls countering. Barella, a half step over. And a play toward frame, no trouble there for Lynette Hernandez. Keeper kit highlighter green for BYU and red for the Cowboys. Cowgirls in this case. Allie Fryer down the left wing, dispossessed.
Good defense coming from Holstead. She's been beat by Allie Fryer a few times and so has already changed her approach. Instead of running on, she's rather giving her the space, letting Allie control it before stepping in.
Neutral field battle for the ball that Cotter joins and wins to her back line. Cromanhook. A play back to Warner. Warner leads Presley Freeman. Freeman a lead pass for Fryer near the byline. And coming over to force out for a deep BYU throw. Now the Cowgirls here in the third. Now into the 4th minute of play. 0-0 early here at Southfield.
And keep an eye out for that Freeman-Fryer duo. Coach Rockwood's really hoping that those two have already shown to play so well together, have such great chemistry, to put them on the same side, see if they can't create some chemistry.
The Freeman-Fryer tandem on the left wing for BYU. Over the byline, goal kick for Bartell in Wyoming. Cowgirls last year 6-8-5, 2-7-2 in league. BYU 23-3. That's 20 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, 7-0-3 in their first year in the Big 12. Vance and Cotter play on the right side. Neff at the mid-stripe. Assessing her options and plays short. Now back to Neff, and she'll flip the pitch to Warner. Both of these teams have won Mountain West Conference championships. An interception by the Cowgirls. And Glover gets into the attacking third. Freeman comes over to check and play out. BYU won Mountain West titles 6 times back in the day. The Cowgirls have won 2 themselves. Most recently in 2022, when they came within PKs of getting to their first ever NCAA tournament. Still hasn't happened yet for Wyoming. Josh Purdom hopes he's the guy to get them to the promised land. The play is Holstead. Service from the right. A nod down and a chase for the ball. A step 2 and a chip forward to Hernandez. She'll play on a clean catch and look to distribute. Last year's Wyoming team picked to win the Mountain West after that title in 22, but a disappointing 11th place finish last year. Their head coach departed for St. Louis, an assistant's job there, and BYU will actually be in St. Louis here in a couple of weeks to play the powerful Billikens.
And that's another team that I can see becoming a good rival between these two squads, as they've each not only played each other last time here at Southfield, ended up being quite a historic win for BYU, but now that they're finding their way against the Billikens. Again, a team that I could see becoming a rival, not for geographic reasons, but simply because the women's soccer is so good.
Fryer, service from the left. Vance tried to get a swing on it, loose in the area, and a play clear by the Cowgirls. Stepping to it is Freeman to keep it in the final third. Wyoming relieves the pressure to the midfield. An undercut kick by the keeper, landing near the center line off the head of Frischneck. Cotter settles. Fryer. Centrally Vance setting up a left foot shot and knocked down by Bartel. Mackenzie Vance letting it rip, the 5'1" junior from UCLA.
And that's quite a shot coming right in the air as Bartel is looking directly into the sunlight. Some of those tough balls are coming in about head high.
Don't want to short Mackenzie on the height, the 5'7" junior Vance. That sounds a little better. Had an ACL during her UCLA career. Did score 2 goals for the Bruins before transferring into BYU. Micah Kromenhoek, the freshman, plays Neff on the right wing. Cotter. Down the right wing, too deep for Bailey. Aaron Bailey, along with Allie Fryer, one of those players Jen Rockwood's counting on for production. There's the knockdown by Bartel. Bailey has 11 career goals. So a couple of players with double-digit career goals coming into this year. Fryer's 19, Bailey's 11.
Well, and I like to see Fryer, who was traditionally playing as a forward last year, in this new midfield position. Already she's showing that she can get the ball a lot more because she's simply more involved in the center of the pitch.
Playing in a left withdrawn position for Jen Rockwood. Cotter losing the ball in the midfield. And Wyoming giving it right back. Fryer in the center circle. The play is Neff. Cotter challenged. Deeks away. And back checks Neff again. Neff and Cotter playing the two-man game. Warner, center circle. A floor ball to Fryer. Return to Warner, and now Freeman. Freeman double teamed on the wing. Hard charge toward the end line, trying to get position on the ball. It's well shielded and played clear by the Cowgirls. Fryer knocked down from behind, foul, and a free kick for BYU in the 9th. Quick restart. Neff. The plays on the wing to Cotter. Can't get clear for service. And a fine challenge and win by Wyoming in the defensive third, but a giveaway. And it's Bailey. Bailey tackled, and the plays into the supporters area off the boot of Glover. Glover, Bedard, and Richardson on the Mountain West watch list. An appeal there and to no avail.
I can see why Coach Rocket and her staff upset about that ball as Bartel completely takes her out. There's absolutely no play on the ball against Hamberlin. You wonder if the center official swallowed her whistle. Perhaps got a bit hesitant, as that penalty kick would have been the first major opportunity for this BYU squad.
On the wing right, Chance. Comes centrally. A tee up to the top. And from 20 yards, a shot that goes wide. And a Cougar goal kick in the 10th. Yeah, Hammerlin in a chase for the ball has her legs cut out by Bartel, the Wyoming keeper, and Again, everyone on the BYU bench was up and quickly calling for a penalty that was not given.
Well, Hamberlin did such a great job of touching the ball right before Bartel could get it. So there's absolutely no play on the ball. Ends up going out of bounds for the goal kick. But you know, she's wishing that she would have had that call, as it was a goal scoring opportunity, a 1v1 look on frame. BYU victim to a penalty kick just a few days ago in Orem against UVU.
The second goal in a 2-0 defeat, as BYU gives away on the throw-in. New NCAA rules this year have expanded the criteria for video review, but they're not using VAR at BYU or in the Big 12. But penalty kick situations and goal scoring opportunities are among the expanded criteria. Offsides as well have been introduced into the rule book as situations for video review, but not applicable in this match. Neff wins for BYU. Giveaway in the neutral third. Ball down the wing for Barella. BYU relieves pressure to the touchline. 12th minute, scoreless match. BYU did not score in its regular season or its postseason finale last year against Stanford in Carolina to end their year, and did not score against outside opposition 2 nights ago in Orem against UVU. Battle for the ball at the top of the area, and the Cougs chip clear. Long ball central will roll all the way to Hernez. Lynette Hernez, Washington State transfer. Warner and now Freeman. Freeman in the state of Georgia, Gatorade Player of the Year last year at the highest high school level in that state. She mans left back to open the match for Jen Rockwood. At right back, it's M&F. A high ball deep for Vance, plays it off the back of her leg, but right to a cowgirl who plays to the center third. Cotter now. Cromanhook. Freeman. And Fryer on a hit out. In the 13th minute, let's head to Jason Shepard at pitch level. Jason.
Guys, you had been referencing a couple of times the exhibition game against Utah Valley the other night, and when we were talking with Coach Purdom in Wyoming, we asked him, would you at least like to have some video? That game did not have any video that was available for people to watch, and he said, actually, I kind of prefer the fact that we didn't get to see it, because it really does allow us to focus on ourselves as opposed to trying to scheme against another team. And obviously, when you're your first year on the job and you're trying to get everybody implemented, it really is more about you.
Thank you, Jason. First head coaching job at many years as an assistant, the last 2 at CSU, 4 years at North Dakota State, 2 years at Eastern Kentucky, 1 season at Drake, and was a grad assistant at Northern Colorado. So a lot of time spent on the sidelines, but the first time as the bench boss. BYU in navy and Wyoming in white tonight here at Southfield. A beautiful evening after some stormy weather in the lead up to tonight's match. It was coming down in the 90 minutes to hour leading up to tonight's game. And Lightning had cleared players from warming up earlier than they might have liked to, but all is well now. As you can see by the sunshine on the pitch here at Southfield. Freeman with a win near the halfway line. She's going to switch the pitch and send Frischneck chasing. Frischneck to Neff. Pair of number 9s battle for the ball on the touchline. Barella for Wyoming and Neff for BYU, and the Cougs win the throw. 15th minute, we're 1/3 of the way through half number 1. 6 nights from tonight, regular season opener for both teams. BYU will be hosting Wisconsin. Wyoming will be playing at Washington. Bedard out chase for the ball as she and Neff hit the deck, and The Cougs will switch the field from right to left to Freeman. Chips the ball toward the top of the 18. Played off the Cowgirls into touch.
And I'm impressed with this BYU squad. You had mentioned going from left to right. They've been getting more into the offense simply by switching the field. If it's not open on the left, they then move back and move to the right. And this ability to transition from one side to the other has opened up some more opportunities for BYU's offense in this match.
Just a pair of shots so far, one for each team. The only shot on goal registered by Mackenzie Vance. It was knocked down by the keeper Bartel, no trouble. Cotter back lines it to Frischnecht. Now for the back play to Frischnecht again. And now Kromenhoek. Exploratory is the best way to describe the Cougar attack at the moment. A giveaway in the defensive half. Wyoming looked to play central, but an interception by Warner to win the ball back for her side. Now Fryer. Vance. Plays wide right, Cotter. Leads Bailey down the right channel. Bailey collects near the corner flag. A step-up tackle win by the Cowgirls. Cougs in their defensive half with Frischnecht. As the pair of number 4s go head-to-head. Frischnecht for BYU and Bedard for Wyoming.
And Wyoming's just trying to find Bedard and Glover. Those two playing centrally with only 2 up top. And it's been difficult for Wyoming because every time they reach it, every time they get the ball, they're trying to reach their forward line by bypassing the midfield. Makes it difficult for Bedard and Glover. Anytime they get the ball, they have numbers against them.
Fryer racing down the left wing. Dispossessed to the play out by the Cowgirls. The all-time score line here at Southfield between BYU and Wyoming is BYU 35 and Wyoming 1. All-time, including games neutral and in Laramie, 60-7 is the combined score line. In fact, BYU's record for most goals scored in a single game, regular season game, of course, came against Wyoming back in 1996. It was a 12-0 BYU win. Back when both programs were just getting going, but it took the Cowboys a little longer to gain any kind of traction. It wasn't long before BYU was winning and winning a lot under Jen Rockwood, now in her 30th season. 18th minute scoreless. Freeman challenged by Chance, who wins for the Cowgirls. Glover. Richardson. Centrally, Bedard lines it up and lofts it over the bar. United Soccer Coaches poll coming out this week, placing BYU at number 3. They ended the season 4th, having gone to the Final Four in Cary, North Carolina last fall, and despite losing a lot of firepower from last year, again, the admiration the coaches have for Jen Rockwood and her program, they put them 3rd until proven otherwise. And that's a lofty standard for these players to live up to. Good for them, though. Good motivation for them, certainly.
Yeah, no, I think to be able to have that sort of confidence from some of the other programs, I think says a lot. We had mentioned says a lot about the players that came here before. There are 19 returning players, although those players were not considered starters in
just
last
2 of them,
year's
yeah,
season.
Right. Yep.
So definitely a unique team. I think perhaps one of the more unique teams that BYU has had in program history.
Yeah, Freeman walking this off. We're going to bring the training staff to the touchline to assess Presley. She's grabbing her right ankle, and she's going to come off the field.
We'll take another look at it here. She's receiving the ball with her upfield foot.
Yeah, just rolled it.
Seems to roll it forward, yeah. Just bad luck as there's no contact on that ball.
So she will leave the match due to injury for the time being, and Tylee Pratt will replace her.
You do wonder with some of the rain, it's gotten so hot, so you would imagine that most of it has evaporated by now, but I did wonder when the rain was coming down if it was starting to get a little bit slick. I know that was some of the worry for the goalkeepers. Lynette Hernez was receiving some skipping balls in an effort to try to get used to it. And when you see plays like that, you also wonder if the pitch still a little bit moist under the grass.
So Tylee Pratt takes Presley Freeman's spot at left back. Chance. Trying to give her team a chance with service from the right. Gets it off the rebound, plays it directly to Hernez on the cross.
And Wyoming's shown that they have good players that can get into the attack. They've had no problem going 1v1 and getting some good crosses off. Again, it's just been a numbers game for them, as their midfield hasn't been connected with the forward line, I think, as much as they would like.
Hamberlin gets a touch. Haven't called her name a lot here in the first half. Cotter on the right side. Comes centrally. Cotter, Vance. Cromanhook switches the pitch to Fryer. Fryer near the byline. A chip toward the far post, and it hops beyond targets. And the Cowgirls play clear. Substitution for BYU, Madden Summers, the St. Louis transfer, will enter for Emma Hamberlin. So change up top as Jen Rockwood brings the reserve in to strike, and that's Summers.
And we're seeing substitutions a bit earlier than what we're used to from this BYU coaching staff, perhaps because it's an exhibition game. Still trying to experiment with lineups, personnel.
Summers scored 3 goals for St. Louis before her church mission. A shot and a parry over the bar. That was Allie Fryer giving it a ride, and what a punch over the woodwork from Bartel to keep it 0-0.
Yeah, what a beautiful shot as it's coming off the quick turn, and you're right, Bartel, with those cat-like reflexes, is slightly off her line, but she's able to leave her feet, punch it right over again. She's looking right in the sun there, but she sees it immediately, parries it over the ball. Quite an athletic play from Bartel, and again, you give credit to Allie Fryer for turning on that so quickly, as her back was to goal, but she was able to swivel her hips and get a good, powerful shot off.
Tremendous save on the Big Dipper from Fryer, and then the catch by Bartel on the corner from Aaron Bailey. We stay 0-0 in the 22nd, almost halfway home here in half number 1.
And this really has been a game of long shots outside of the box. Both BYU and Wyoming, their opportunities coming from right on top of the 18. I think the question for this game, Greg, will be, can the forwards from both sides get inside the box?
The forwards for BYU now are Summers and Bailey. Pass for Summers is picked off, and the Cowgirls to the attacking half. Interception there from Cromanhook. Cromanhook plays it on the floor to Summers. Summers gives chase, links to it at the top of the area. Summers dispossessed, and the play is clear by Taylor Brook. Brook led the Cowgirls in minutes played last year and relieves the pressure for the moment. Checking in Ella Labrum. Labrum did not see the pitch on Wednesday at UVU, and she'll enter at right withdrawn for Abby Cotter. So Labrum in for Jen Rockwood and the Cougs. Again, moments ago, an injury departure. Presley Freeman, the starting left back, going out with an ankle roll, would appear. We'll see if she plays again tonight. Goal kick for the Cowgirls, as we are now officially just over the halfway mark of half number 1. 0-0.
We had mentioned this BYU team being a unique one from years prior, and part of that is the fact that so many freshmen have already gotten so many opportunities. We had mentioned Labrum just coming in now. Freshmen already getting starting position, something you typically don't see either here at BYU or any NCAA program. But because they lost so many players, Coach Rockwood and her staff now relying on some of this young talent to be able to come in and make a difference quickly.
Yep, 3 freshmen starting tonight, and a sub freshman moments ago. Let's check in with Jason Shepard for an update.
And as you guys saw, just a tweak of the right ankle. They've taken her shoe off. They've got ice around the ankle. So what they're going to do is let the ice take effect, and then they will reevaluate at halftime, guys.
That's a Presley Freeman update. Mentioned her leaving the pitch moments ago after going down on that touch line. And so we shall give a TBD to Presley Freeman and play on here in the 24th. The deep ball from Holstead rebounds back into the Wyoming defensive half. Kromenhoek slides to win, but instead it's Linder down the barrel. Plays right, Glover. Glover. Shot wide on a partial block from BYU, coming to the ball just in the nick of time.
A great build from the Cowgirls as they're able to take advantage of an error and in transition move directly down the spine of the pitch. Glover reading it so well. She's looking to try to get that near post shot. We had mentioned 6 goals last season. A good block coming from BYU to try to redirect it out of bounds. But by far the Cowgirls' most dangerous look in this game.
Good closure on Glover. Off the boot of Glover and off the Cougs for a corner. Glover, a 2-time Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Week last season. Cowgirls get a corner from the attacking right flag here in the 25th. A far post nod down and wide. Substituting in for the Cowgirls, Elisa Bunn for Lily Brongo. And for BYU, it'll be Mia Curry in for Allie Fryer. Mia Curry, back in 2019, began her collegiate career at Division III Claremont McKenna. Then served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Then came to BYU as a student, a non-soccer playing student, and was asked to join the team in a practice capacity in spring and played so well they kept her along in the fall. And Curry finds herself on the pitch here at Southfield. Very nice story indeed. The 5'2" sophomore in eligibility.
Oh, and you can tell she has that experience underneath her because she just plays very smart, very calm type of soccer. It's still so early in the preseason. She does a great job winning it here, but she just always seems very calm and composed on top of the ball.
Play down the right channel, and Pratt will watch it to the byline and decide to play it herself. Tylee Pratt, an injury substitute for Presley Freeman moments ago. BYU so encouraged about Freeman and hope this isn't only a short-term departure for Press. As Frischnecht begins her drive up the pitch and finds Neff at the halfway line. 27th minute of a scoreless match. Interception by the Cowgirls. That's Linder. The play is left. The play is Glover. And well won by Frischnecht. Kromenhoek and now Neff. Foul in the Cougs defensive half as Neff takes a tumble. Mentioned Kromenhoek, and that's someone that has the look of a potential 4-year starter at that 6. And it's so good when you can find that gem of a holding mid that you can ride for a career, and that might be the kind of player Micah Kromenhoek is. She has the look of it. Well,
and especially to fill the big shoes of Jamie Shepard, who originally was playing in that 6th position last season, did such a great job now playing professionally for the Bay. And so to be able to have a freshman come in and again and fill those big shoes so quickly says a lot about her and about the potential she has for her college soccer career.
Should note that Caroline Stringfellow is subbed in for Aaron Bailey up top. It's Stringfellow and Summers as the strike tandem now, and it's Stringfellow with the ball at 25 yards. Stringfellow plays right to Kromenhoek. Kromenhoek on a cut, lost her footing. And that's, I think, a function of that pre-game rain we had that really did soak the pitch. Bedard blocked by her numerical opposite Frischnecht. Curry chases down and finds Pratt. Pratt trying to hold off Chance, and in a battle for the ball, Chance called for the foul. They're going to whistle it back. Rachel Sweat will have the Cougars reset on the free kick. 28th minute, now into the 29th of a 0-0 match. 15-1, again, the all-time BYU series. Those are regular season matches. This not a regular season counter. It's the exhibition finale for both teams. BYU playing 2 outside opposition exhibitions and an intra-squad. This is the only exhibition chance for Coach Josh Purdom and the Cowgirls. Curry. Short ball. Vance. Good roll. Labrum. Play ahead for Stringfellow. And a play clear by YO to the touchline. Again, first game at Southfield in 15 years for this Cowgirl program. Service from the right will bounce to the far side of the area. Curry will track down. Curry dispossessed. Cowgirls on the counter. Long ball down the right channel into the half space that Tara Warner will check to and play Hernez. Hernez back to Warner. And the Cougs can reset. Frischnecht. On the ground to Neff. Long ball too deep, and on the two hop, it's Bartel. BYU 24 NCAA tournament appearances. Wyoming still seeking that elusive first ever postseason bid. Came so close, lost the Mountain West Conference tournament title game in PKs in 2022. And then 23, a disappointment after a preseason pick to win the league. San Diego State picked to win the Mountain West this year. Utah State picked second. And a service partial block by Frischnecht. Will they call corner or goal kick here? And get BYU a goal kick. And Wyoming, I think, appealing, saying that went off of Frischnecht out. Thursday night, next Thursday, opening night of the college soccer season, starting at 8 Eastern on the SEC Network Plus. Houston Cougars taking on the 17th ranked Texas Longhorns. Then at 9 Eastern on ESPN Plus, right here in Provo. 19th ranked Wisconsin coming to Southfield to take on the 3rd ranked BYU Cougars. Carla and I back with you in 6 nights for the Cougars and the Badgers. Wisconsin, like BYU, has also made 24 NCAA tournament appearances, including last year when they were knocked out by Texas.
Well, it'll be great to have start the season with another ranked team here at Southfield. And BYU, always known for scheduling as hard as they can in the preseason, or I should say the pre-conference play. And this season will be no different.
Curry on the chase. Cowgirls on the win and a play into touch. Yeah, one of the best overall and non-conference slates in the country belongs to BYU as a bevy of Cowgirls substitutes prepare to enter for Coach Purdom. 4 of them lined up on the touchline. BYU trying to keep the attack in the final third. Pratt will touch centrally. Gets under the boot of Labrum. To it is Cromanhook. A deflected ball will find the keeper's breadbasket. That's Bartel who makes the clean catch. 8 starts last year for the 5'7" sophomore Haley Bartel.
And that's perhaps the advantage to having so many exhibition matches for both Wyoming and BYU, is that they're not held to the same substitution rules of the NCAA. Again, this gives coaching staffs an opportunity to get girls with a lot of minutes early on in the season, a lot of experience, but also to experiment with a variety of players and see how the chemistry matches up.
Recent substitutes for Wyoming, Kylie Ballack and Ava Furrow. Furrow, the Arkansas transfer. Ballack in for Brooke and Furrow in for Bedard. Just moments ago, we're in the 32nd minute. Scoreless. BYU 3 shots all on frame. Wyoming 4 shots yet to put a shot on goal. Stringfellow settles. Lead ball Labrum, but intercepted on the slow roll and a play out for a BYU throw. Neff will take. Stringfellow comes lateral. A left foot roller into the area. Summers a touch. It rolls toward frame and play clear.
So close for Madden Summers, who almost gets to it. Bartel doing a good job of getting her body in front of it, just enough to slow it down for her teammates to recuperate and recover. But those 1v1 seams are what's open all day long for this BYU squad if they can find it.
Cougars keeping the pressure on. A hip check, and Stringfellow draws the foul. And a card. Going into the book is Elisa Bunn, and BYU wins itself a free kick in an area of threat. Is this the opportunity BYU's been waiting for to get on the ledger and open the account? In the 33rd minute, it's a free kick for BYU in a tasty spot on the pitch.
Bartel opts to put 3 in her wall. She's going to have them cover the near post. She will then move on to cover the far.
Tara Warner is over the ball. It'll be Warner on the run-up. From just under 30 yards. Warner, and the catch by Bartel beneath the bar.
Not a bad look by Warner. Again, she saw Bartel was covering the far post, and so she tried to get it up and over the wall. Here's the ball just seconds prior as Madden Summers trying to run onto the Stringfellow seam. And it just about works as she times it perfectly. Had she left 1 second earlier, she would have been offside.
Well, they were targeting Summers on the long ball there, but well blocked and picked off by the Cowgirls. They try a long one themselves, ends up on the boot of Maddie Chance. Half space right. Chance racing into the 18. Warner will challenge. Chance wins it through her and plays into the legs of Frischknecht, who clears to the touchline for a Wyoming throw deep in their attacking half. 4 subs in for Coach Purdom here in the 34th. And here they come. Bliss Quillisi-Quain checking in. Aaron Dahl, a Utah, entering the game. Jordan Grease checking in, as well as Gabby Clutter. So 4 in, 4 out for Coach Purdom. Service from the right, a touch and a goal off the body of Lynette Hernandez.
Such a great goal from Wyoming as it comes in transition so quickly. I don't think BYU expected a shot to be coming in off of the first touch and off of such a quick pass. You take another look at what happens here. The Cowgirls doing such a good job of getting the cross in, and again, it's just half a second of that window.
And getting the touch, the player who just checked in, Gabby Clutter.
Talk about a super sub. That's her first touch in on the ball, and she uses the front of BYU again. Her window is half a second long, and yet she's able to get that toe touch to just put it away again. I don't think Hernandez or the defensive line ready for the ball to be released so quickly.
This won't count in regular season stats, but in 17 games played without a career goal coming into her senior season, Gabby Clutter, the midfielder from Castle Pines, Colorado, and puts Wyoming on top. We're now in the 35th. Cowgirls 1, Cougars no score here at Southfield.
And that cross just came from a little bit of fight, physical play, and resiliency from the Wyoming forward line as they really had to try to push their way to send a ball into the box. We had mentioned earlier, the team that's going to score in this game is the team that can get inside of the box. Not the shots outside, but inside, and that's exactly what happened for Wyoming. They got in one time, and in that one time, were able to put it away.
A quick poke and the finish from Clutter. Stringfellow goes down at the outside of the 18. No foul, and a throw in is the call. The series numbers are all from regular season contests. This is not one of them. It's an exhibition game, will not count in those overall series records. But all time here in Provo, Wyoming had scored only 1 goal in 7 games. A ball in the 6th that's played clear. Stepping to and playing over is Pennock, as she gave it a ride from the top of the 18. We stay 1-0 Wyoming. Cowboy substitution. Cowgirl substitution, as Reese Gould will check in.
And Stringfellow has such a beautiful job of just putting it right out of Bartel's reach, and the ball just kind of floats there for a second or two as there's no forwards in the center of the pitch. Everyone had shifted left to try to aid and help Stringfellow, leaving that area right in front of the box wide open.
Gould is in for Halstead, by the way, and a foul by Wyoming gives the Cougars a free kick at around 30 plus on the right side. A little deeper than that. They'll quickly restart with Neff. Neff, Summers. Summers, the St. Louis transfer, shielding off, and service from the right and behind the net for a Wyoming goal kick. Back to those series numbers, I said it was 15-1 all time for BYU, and I said earlier that it was a 35-1 score line here at Southfield. It was actually worse than that. 37-1 was the all-time BYU scoreline advantage here at Southfield. Although they don't officially dent that number, it's a positive sign for Wyoming that they score first and take the 1-0 lead here at Southfield. We're in the 38th minute. Bedard down the barrel. Plays half space left. Ballack Outraced by Frischnecht, and the play over the byline. Corner as BYU touched last.
Yeah, this is a new series we've seen for BYU, as they're so used to scoring multiple goals, especially in the first half. To be able to have a donut going into the second half, again, is something that is perhaps unusual to this BYU squad, and is something that needs to get figured out quickly as they get into the regular season.
Second corner for the Cowgirls to BYU's 1 here in the first half. A lofting corner, and a defensive header not all the way clear. The ball still bouncing around the 18 and now cleared by BYU. The Cowgirls have scored on their only shot on goal. BYU has 5 shots on goal without finding the back of the net. Stringfellow leading for Curry, but too heavy on the touch. It'll roll to Bartel. Yeah, that regular season opener comes quickly, Carlos. 6 nights from tonight, Wisconsin, another ranked team into Southfield. Ranked versus ranked right now, the matchup next Thursday. Curry locked in a battle at the halfway line. Pennock will win and play to Pratt. Warner on the back line. Just off that Big 12 logo, an interception by Bedard down the middle. She'll play it toward frame. Caught cleanly by Hernez, no trouble. But a defensive third giveaway by BYU gave Bedard a look.
And it's happened a couple times from BYU, where they've given it away from a pass that is intercepted by their opponent, typically coming from trying to pass it in through the middle of the pitch.
BYU being outshot currently 8-6. Shots on goal in BYU's favor 5-2, but to no avail on the scoreline as of yet. Curry with the throw. Ballack. Bedard. Deeks Cromanhook and plays down the right wing. Cross from the right, far post, and sails through the 18.
Not a bad look from Wyoming, who's got a little bit more fire to them.
That cross coming from Quillisi Quain. Kylie's her given name. She goes by Bliss. Bliss Quillisi Quain from Reno, Nevada, 5'5" freshman. And both teams playing their rookies tonight. 40th minute. BYU's yet to find the back of the net. A 1-0 Wyoming lead. Frischnecht. Warner as BYU looks to build from the back. Pratt down the boundary. Quillisi Quain cuts her off. Quillisi Quain challenging Pratt. Cougars backline it again. Center back to center back. Warner to Frischnecht. Across the center stripe. On the floor, Pennock. Pennock wheels. Sends Summers through. Summers top of the 18. Back to the goal. To Stringfellow. In. And over the byline. Last touch by the Cowgirls. Corner kick. Stringfellow had a great look.
Yeah, you'll see in the build here, absolutely beautiful from BYU. And Stringfellow trying to get that perfect touch, perhaps just a little bit too slow on the release. The run was great. She had the perfect angle to be able to get a crossbody shot.
Pratt and Curry. We approach the interval, 42nd minute. Pennock, top of the 18. A slow cut roll, and Cowgirls clear. Labrum gives it a ride and parried wide by Bartel for another BYU corner.
BYU feeling the urgency, not wanting to go into the second half without a goal in an attempt to try to equalize here, and you can see it, that everything is playing far more direct, far down the seams.
Corners now even 2 apiece. Mia Curry will take from the attacking left. Far post and skips off heads and clear. Labrum chases. And touchline for a BYU throw in the 42nd, coming into the 43rd minute. Last season, BYU ranked 2nd nationally in shots per game. They have 6 in the first half here to Wyoming's 2. The Cowgirls have cashed in on 1 of their 2. Pratt center stripe. Plays through Quillisi Quain. Curry was targeted, didn't know she was, and it'll roll all the way to the byline. Now the referee allowed a play on there for a moment, but Pratt was brought down, and the foul was whistled here in the 43rd.
This will be another opportunity from BYU now on the opposite side of the pitch, but with that same good angle. This is such a dangerous ball because it's angled.
Micah Cromanhook over the ball. Three-player wall for the Cowgirls. Plays left, and the pass.
Yeah, she gave it away.
It's picked off.
She turned her hips and her head right before hitting it, giving it away to Wyoming as they were immediately able to shift and read that ball.
Chance goes begging for BYU, but on the throw, Stringfellow looks to settle. Wins back. Taps to the top, and the Cowgirls clear. 90 seconds remain here in the first half. BYU playing from behind here at South Field. Bliss Quillisi Quain lost the handle on the touchline. BYU's lost only 4 of its last 40 regular season games. Neff gives away. Wyoming in the neutral third with Glover. Pardon me, Alyssa Glover. Again, Glover, Bedard, and Richardson all on the Mountain West watch list as released this week. Ali Fryer makes the Big 12 all preseason team. 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. A giveaway for BYU. So the Cougs are playing 2 outside opponents in the preseason. Did not score against Utah Valley on Wednesday and goes the first 45 without a goal against Wyoming 2 nights later. As we approach halftime, Ballack. And that's going to do it for half number 1. Wyoming 1, BYU no score.
And that's definitely the missing piece for this BYU squad. They did a good job of building out of the midfield. Defense was pretty steady, although they had some errors, but definitely last.
Jason Shepard with BYU head coach Jennifer Rockwood. Shep.
Let's go over the Wyoming goal. What did you see? What broke down on that play?
Well, a lot of things. We're just turning the ball over way too much and just in the wrong place, and got to win the ball. So we've had plenty of possession, and we haven't been able to get in behind them. So they've been doing a good job of keeping the ball, in front of their back line, and we haven't been as dangerous as we need to be. And
maybe the answer is, possession and that. But what is most pressing on your mind that you want to address at halftime before the second half begins?
We have to go forward. We have to get in behind. We have to get the ball in the box, and people have to want to score goals. So got to shoot to score.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. And Jason Shepard, 35th minute goal from Gabby Clutter. Seconds after checking into this match, gives Wyoming a 1-0 lead. Halfway home here, it's come from primarily in the 2024 campaign. We'll see if Presley Freeman makes it back onto the pitch here in half number 2. She tweaked an ankle in the first half and sat out most of the first half. But I do see her jogging into the huddle before half number 2. And so it could be that Presley's good to go. That'd be a positive sign for BYU having her back at left back.
And I imagine Coach Rockwood's advice at halftime, similar to what she told us on the broadcast, that it really comes down to players putting it away and having more attack and taking more shots. BYU, I think, waiting for the perfect shot at times, and so they're not taking it. Player right there, Ali Fryer, look as one of the players that BYU is going to be looking to perhaps have some more offensive opportunities for this team. It was some of the same issues that BYU had against Utah Valley, and that in speaking with Coach Rock, she said no one had that killer mentality.
Multiple lineup changes for Jen Rockwood here in the second half. As at outside back left side, it will now be Ella Rustan. Presley Freeman will return but go to the right side. So Freeman and Rustan now the outside back. Center back stay the same. Sierra Pennock checks in. At a midfield position, Allie Fryer will now go from left to right to play on the same side as Presley Freeman. Summers also starts the second half up top along with Vance. So it looks like they've almost gone to a bit of a 4-3-3 look. We'll see how it shapes up in terms of the attack, but some changes for Jen Rockwood as she looks for a spark here in half number 2. Yeah, Pennock's going to play that 10. Vance is going to play withdrawn left, and Fryer's going to come up as a forward, I think, on that right side.
Well, there were a few 1v1 opportunities for BYU in that first half that Fryer perhaps would have been able to put away. In that midfield position, she got the ball a lot, but she didn't have a lot of forward looks and opportunities.
Let's stay in a 4-4-2 here, but call Summers and Fryer as the forwards, with Pennock playing at the 10 and the withdrawns left and right now being Vance and Cotter. So Jen Rockwood was really shaking things up here to begin half number 2, making changes on the back line, the midfield, and the forward attack. Well,
and I think it's good to be able to have Pennock too playing in that midfield position. She played in the last bit of that first half, but I thought she actually did a really great job of composing the ball and keeping it at people's feet, perhaps warranting her second half start here.
Frischnecht and Warner stay at center back. So the 2 center backs and the 6, the holding mid, the only really unchanged spots. Well, you could add Cotter to that at withdrawn right. Only 4 spots remain exactly where they were of the field players here in half number 2 for Jen Rockwood. She is definitely going for a spark.
And they really need BYU, a player to really step up and be that leadership position. You have some players here that have a couple of years of experience under the belt, but there's still not one, evident leader who's really organizing the troops and moving them forward.
Barella centrally, Linder, and just punched over the bar. Nicely parried by Lynette Hernez on a dipper to the woodwork.
Yeah, the Cowgirls doing a good job getting that shot. It was good, has a little bit of bend floating underneath the bar.
Well timed there by Hernez. The freshman Linder letting it fly. Out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, Hadley Linder, jersey number 8. Cowgirls, old habits die hard. Cowgirls have won their third corner. Corners now even 3 apiece.
And they've been dangerous. They've connected on 2 of the 3.
Defensive header clear. A volley down. A top of the 6. Send out to the edge of the area. Chipped service. Head toward frame. And a beautiful save by Hernez to deflect wide and keep it 1-0.
What a great save. You could see how excited she is. I thought that was going to go in. But she does such a good job of leading to that right side.
Tara Warner helping out on the line as well.
And that's why you put players on both of your posts, because some may be going towards the near.
4-3 now, Wyoming, the corner's edge. Fryer elevates. A volley well over the bar. Well, I will be calling the Cowboys. I'll be in Laramie for football here in a few weeks. BYU and Wyoming on the gridiron.
And if you end up calling them Cowgirls multiple times, you can reference this game.
Blame this night.
Say, I was just at Southfield weeks ago.
We are in the 49th. Wyoming 1, BYU no score on a 35th minute goal from Gabby Clutter. Clutter, who's scoreless for her Wyoming career to this point. And again, not an official goal in terms of career stats, as this is an exhibition. Nevertheless, good for Clutter and the Cowgirls to get one here in Provo, where it's so tough to score and win.
Well, and it was such a morale booster for Wyoming as well. The energy immediately changed for them, and they started having offensive looks. Their midfield started getting more into the attack and playing a bit more confidently, and it just shows that getting that one goal can make all the difference. The same principle applies to BYU. If they're able to equalize here, I think we'll see a massive shift in their momentum.
Maddie Burr's pass intercepted, and BYU on the corner as a result. Allie Fryer to the right side. Allie in the half space. Allie to the top of the 18, dispossessed. Ball loose, checked on by Warner. Her pass is picked off. BYU does win it back with Rustan at the halfway line. Rustan chased by Chance. The ball rolls to the touchline for a YO throw. 50th minute. Cowgirls taking a lead into half number 2. A cross block. And the Cowgirls will restart on the sideline. Two Utah players on this Wyoming roster. One of them got into the game in the first half. Erin Dahl from Lehigh High School. Jersey number 33. She got into the first half. The other Utah player not able to play due to injury, Renee Craddock out of Skyline High School in Salt Lake City. Presley Freeman sees her mark take a tumble at the halfway line. Freeman dribbles through that player, Jazzy Barella. Ball now back left for Warner. Rustand on the touchline. And a foul for BYU. Didn't see too many whistles targeting BYU players in the first half. Only the second foul whistled against BYU to 9 for Wyoming. Shots are now in Wyoming's favor, 11-8. Shots on goal in BYU's favor, 6-4. Yet the Cowgirls have the only advantage that matters right now, 1-0 on the scoreboard. Defensive header, and Pennock looking to build with Cotter. Looking to overlap is Freeman. Freeman down the channel to Fryer. Fryer hits the gas. And a slide tackle out by Maddie Burr. BYU will quickly restart on the throw. It's hopped to the body of Cotter. Setting up Freeman. Service chipped toward the keeper and nothing doing there. Clean catch by Bartel. No trouble whatsoever. 52nd minute of a 1-0 match.
Bartel's going to opt to send her whole team forward. I think we're going to be seeing that more in the next 45. Or I beg your pardon, the next 38. As she's going to be looking just send everything forward to try to get that second goal and increase the deficit between these two teams, as it's still anyone's game.
In one-goal games last year, the Cowgirls were 500 at 4-4. Cromanhook down the barrel. Now half space left. Rustand. Service. And a block out for BYU's fourth corner. Corners now even 4 apiece. Cougs and Cowgirls. Last time these two teams met was in 2010 in Laramie. BYU won 4-1. The winning goalkeeper that night, Mackenzie Olsen. And Mac is in the field, in the building tonight. Saw Mac before the game.
Shout out to Mackenzie Olsen.
Indeed. Last game in Provo was in 2009. Halloween night, BYU won 2-0 on that night 15 years ago. Mackenzie Vance, UCLA transfer. Right-footed in-swinger and defensive header clear by the Cowgirls. They say off of BYU, Wyoming throw. '53rd minute. BYU still looking for its first exhibition goal against outside opposition. There were 3 goals scored in the blue-white game here 6 nights ago. And a 2-0 UVU win in Orem on Wednesday. 1-0 Wyoming so far here tonight. Mackenzie Vance assessing her options. Cromanhook. Short pass picked, and the Cowgirls counter. Maddie Chance racing past the halfway line. Chasing her is Cromanhook. Cromanhook getting an edge, but Chance stays with it in possession. And a tap out by Cromanhook. Good hustle by Micah. And the fans applaud that. And a really nice crowd here for this exhibition. So many schools would love a crowd like this for a late season, regular season game, let alone a preseason exhibition affair. Place is almost packed. No one supports soccer like BYU's fans. Again, led the nation in total attendance last year.
Well, even the rock section, which is BYU's student section, in high attendance here, and classes haven't even started. So showing that even students who are just barely coming on, moving into their dorms, getting their books perhaps, still making time to come out and support BYU.
BYU's a perennial attendance leader in one way or the other, and last year in total attendance 52,471, and they averaged 4,000 plus for the first time ever at 4,036. Somehow they find a way to set stadium superlatives with attendance, finding new ways to set the bar.
It's pretty incredible. You compare it to Utah has a professional women's soccer team here, and BYU already getting higher attendance numbers since many of those professional teams. Just shows the type of support that they have for women's soccer, but particularly collegiate women's soccer.
BYU has led in average attendance in 6 of the last 7 years. And again, last year, thanks to some postseason play here in Provo, got the overall attendance number title as well. Gabby Clutter in the 35th, the 5'3" senior, played just 2 games last year. Makes it count in this exhibition affair. 42 career goals on this Wyoming roster. BYU players have 47 career goals. Nice turn by Freeman. That's a clever play down the right wing. Freeman left for much of the first half with an ankle tweak. Starts half number 2 and is looking good so far, and draws a corner for BYU.
Yeah,
5-4 now in corners.
You'd have never guessed that she was out with that ankle, because she still has all the same speed and confidence taking players on 1v1. She doesn't seem any hesitant or like she's favoring it in any way.
Corner from the attacking right. Set piece opportunity for BYU. Lofted outside the 6 and ahead toward frame. Clean catch, Bartel.
Love it by Frischnecht, playing that defensive back. She makes the long run all into the box and times it so great. That's a high ball too. She has to take quite a bit of air to try to hit it towards frame. Bartel reads it nicely. Able to step in front of Summers to keep Summers from receiving it.
Yeah, Bartel doing well to rid herself of the pressure from Madden Summers. And Summers, who didn't play in the UVU game, has looked well, I think, in playing tonight. Got the second half start for Jen Rockwood.
Yeah, she's been in the right place a lot of times in this game. And so, you know, that says a lot about her ability to adapt to Wyoming's defense, is to know where to go.
Chance will give chase. And let it roll out for a YO throw. Holstead. Chance. It rolled out and was played into the side netting regardless. 58th minute. BYU and Wyoming on a beautiful Friday night after a stormy build-up to this one. The skies open between 5 and 6:30. Some lightning took people off the pitch, and that cleared away. The rains eventually stopped, and you would never know it was that kind of weather not too long ago.
Yeah, you have to laugh that it hasn't rained all summer here in Utah, but the 2 times it rains are right before the BYU games.
It was blue-white last week and then Wyoming tonight. Yep. You go weeks without rain, but the 2 times you get storms are when we got some soccer to play here at Southfield.
It's better than the snow. Greg, you and I will be calling games here in just a couple of months.
It'll happen.
And we will be bundled up, and it will be a torrential snowstorm.
Freeman centrally trying to settle his Fryer. Rolls to Vance. Vance with some space. Vance will chip it into the 18. Pennock gives chase. But a defensive send to the touchline by the Cowgirls for a BYU throw in the 59th. So Allie Fryer, a forward last year, was put on the wing as a withdrawn Wednesday against UVU and tonight to start against Wyoming, but she's back at her traditional forward position. Now, so we'll see if that's a short-lived experiment or not, as Jen Rockwood looks for some kind of offensive generation, and that's back where Allie's been most familiar, certainly. It was that Fryer-Foligno duo we got used to seeing last year.
Yeah, and we miss having Foligno, who graduated here from BYU, and she did such a great job of setting up Fryer. They had such great chemistry. Question will be who will be able to fit in that role now.
One hopper to Bartel.
Bartel's been playing so well this match. She has to be very pleased with how she's been doing so far. Very much been leading her team out there, but some of the saves that she's had are just world class.
And Josh Purdom has to be very pleased with how the whole team has played for him in his debut. Colleen Corbin went 22, 24, and 12 in 3 seasons in Laramie after this last season. Not a great season for her, but certainly not any kind of jeopardy, but she decided to see an opening and take it at St. Louis as an assistant, creating an opening that Josh Purdom filled. You saw Jen Rockwood a moment ago. As Josh is in his first season, Jen's in her 30th. Among the top 10 in all time in active Division I coaching wins and win percentage. Cross from the left and a whistle. There was a flag up and BYU was off.
Good job from the Cowgirls pulling the trap there.
Second offside for BYU. The Cowgirls have yet to be whistled offside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subs about to come in for Coach Purdom. Hockey line change and then some for Wyoming.
And it was off a sub that Clutter was able to come and get that first goal. So perhaps there's some wisdom in being able to bring in so many fresh legs.
That goal is held up into half number 2. A giveaway by the Cowgirls. BYU looking to build in the midfield. Pennock playing at that 10. Comes to Fryer. Fryer chipped it, but light, and it was picked. Cowgirls counter opportunity. Left wing Barella. Jazzy dispossessed, but it rolls to her teammate Reagan Richardson. Makes the all Mountain West watch list. 8 starts in 18 games last year for Richardson. Now a 5'8" sophomore for Coach Purdom. Racing into the attacking half is Holstead. Play down the right wing. Step win by BYU. Warner plays Rustand. Who plays Cromanhook. Cromanhook replacing a 4-year starter in Jamie Shepard. Cotter at the halfway line. The Georgia freshman Freeman too heavy on a miscommunication with Allie Fryer. '62nd minute. Aaron Bailey will substitute in for BYU on the next beckoning. Mackenzie Vance looking to slalom defenders in the center circle. Vance wheeling away from pressure. Cromanhook. Pass to Cotter picked. Another giveaway for BYU. Wyoming gives it right back. And the Cougars give it right back. And Wyoming gives it right back. Cromanhook and Vance now. Vance down the barrel. Picking up speed. Mackenzie Vance. Through ball for Fryer is just deflected and blocked well by the Cowgirls. Ball ends up on Fryer's boot anyway outside of the 18. Fryer hard charge toward the end line. A poke out, should be a corner, it will be. As getting a boot to it was Taylor Brook, the minutes played leader for the Cowgirls last year. 17 starts in 17 games played, 3 goals on her career tally. 19 on Fryer's career goal scoring tally, and she will take the corner with Aaron Bailey checking in, and here come those 6 Cowgirls for Coach Purdom. That's the kind of offense BYU produced last year. So many high rankings.
And to be able to have such a high goal differential. It's impressive to be #1 in shots and in goals, #2 in assists. But it's that goal differential that just shows their ability to be able to outscore opponents.
They were also second in shots on goal per game, in addition to those other gaudy numbers. It is corner number 5, make it 6 for BYU. As you see there, the edge over the Cowgirls. Off the back, I think, of Fryer, and the Cowgirls clear the 18. Rustand. A little too heavy on the play for Pennock.
And although there's still 26 minutes left in this game, you can see both teams starting to get a little bit gassed. That's being made evident in that it's being much harder to connect to feet. Some of that diligent play and that exact play starts to wane as the game goes on and players start to get a bit exhausted.
Can BYU find the equalizer for some momentum going into the season opener with mighty Wisconsin? The Cowgirls will open back-to-back on the road at Washington, at Colorado. Cross from the left and finds the back of the net, the backside of the net. Cougar fans wish it was the back of the net the other way. The last BYU home loss, of course, this would be a regular season game we're talking about, came almost 2 years ago. September 10th, 2022, UVU beat BYU 4-2 here. This is an exhibition game, wouldn't count relative to streaks and records and those sorts of things, yet losing at Southfield is a rare thing indeed, regardless of whether exhibition, regular, or postseason. Cowgirls looking to keep it in the final third. Bailey trying to win the ball. It ends up with Richardson. Bailey does block and win for BYU. Aaron Bailey in the center circle. Bailey on a 1v2. Bailey, ball at her boot. Sees it poked away, but to Fryer. Fryer now races to the right in the half space. Allie Fryer assessing options. Slows her roll, steps and crosses, calling for a handball that was not seen that way. I thought the deflection might have caught an arm. How do you see it, Carla?
I thought it caught the arm as well. The Rock section perhaps had the best view of all this. We'll get another look at our replay here as Allie Fryer, it does come off of a hand from the Cowgirl defensive line.
See the BYU players immediately appealing, and Rachel Sweat not in accordance, and we played on. In the 67th, 1-0 Cowgirls. Gabby Clutter decisive to this point.
And you think how different this game would be had that been called. BYU would have been given a shot from the spot, excuse me. And that's the second time in this game that BYU has appealed for a penalty kick. First was in the first few minutes of this game.
Hallie Dixon, Ella Labrum set to enter for BYU. Checking in for Wyoming, Reese Gould. Gould will replace Brongo. Dixon and Labrum in for Cotter and Pennock, respectively. Cougars looking to find something late. Corner number 5 for Wyoming. The option is short to Quillisi Quain. Service from the right and a volley clear by the Cougs. A settling ball to Labrum. Labrum, freshman out of Alta High School here in the state of Utah. Alta, one of the perennial powerhouse names. She was a state champ back in 2019 with the Hawks. Wyoming player down. Is she holding her jaw, her throat? Oh yeah, she took one in the jaw there on the swing around by Labrum. Kind of caught her as she tried to clear herself. And that was Kylie Quillisi Quain, who goes by Bliss as her preferred first name. And she took one on the chin. And we'll jog off the pitch with attendance as Maddie Chance will re-enter for Wyoming.
Chance, who I felt was Wyoming's most dangerous player in the first half. Perhaps didn't get the start as Coach Purdom is trying to get some new players, some young players, some experience in an exhibition match before their game against Washington.
One shot, 2 fouls in her 52 minutes of play tonight for Maddie Chance, the 5'6" senior. The only returning player to start every game last year for Wyoming is Maddie Chance. 12 career goals is also the high water mark for players on the current roster. Cowgirls in their attacking half, now final third, now a dispossess, and here comes Ella Rustand up the boundary. Rustand playing long, bouncing for Bailey. Cleared away from Aaron. And the Cowboys relieve the threat for the moment. A battle for the ball at the halfway line. The Cowgirls drive deep. Frischneck will chest down. Ball now neutral third. Dixon backlines it. Freeman. Freeman back to Dixon. Dixon dispossessed. And BYU wins the ball immediately back with Cromanhook. Warner. Two deep targets in Fryer and Bailey. It's beyond them both to Bartel. Greg Wrubell, Carla Swenson, Haslam, Jason Shepard, your broadcast trio here at Southfield tonight. Back with you in 6 nights for regular season opening play between BYU and Wisconsin. Freeman run up on and fouled. Both these programs began in 1995, so both these teams were in their 30th year of operation. All 30 under Jennifer Rockwood. And the first year of leadership for Josh Purdom and Laramie. Josie Shepard, sister of longtime midfielder Jamie, will soon check in as a bouncing ball goes to Dixon on the right side of the 18. Dixon will step over to lose her mark. Into the area, steps again to the end line. Across, comes deep. Cleared to the boot of Freeman. Freeman gives it a ride and just over the bar.
Great footwork coming from Dixon, who's able to lose her defender to get that cross in. You hear the oohs and ahs from the rock section. Here's the long shot from Freeman.
Things just a little more encouraging last few minutes here for BYU. Mackenzie Vance will check out. Josie Shepard will check in. See how BYU's aligning here. Still Fryer and Bailey up top.
Well, and they have the time. Little under 20 minutes left in this game, and so BYU has the time to be able to equalize. Try to climb that mountain.
Fryer, center part of the park. Advancing to the 18. Fryer brought down and a play on. Wyoming in the center circle. Giving away to BYU. Micah Cromanhook's been brought up to the 10. Josie Shepard now playing at the 6. They're bringing Cromanhook up in the pitch.
Well, and that tactical decision to be able to have Cromanhook playing some closer balls. She's done a good job of distributing to her forwards, but to have her even closer to goal may make those passes a bit more precise. Again, BYU all in it now to just be able to try to get that goal. They're taking a lot more risks.
Labrum through. Fryer! Pulled out of the 18 is Fryer. Calling for it is Cromanhook at the top of the area. Cromanhook receives, settles. Has to dribble away to settle it farther. Fryer. Dispossessed. Oh, there was so much promising there. Just those final connections lacking for BYU.
Well, and Wyoming's making it so tight. Every time that BYU gets the ball, they put multiple white jerseys on a single player to try to make it as compact as possible.
Rustand, her pass is intercepted. BYU playing with Labrum withdrawn left, Dixon withdrawn right, Fryer and Bailey up top. Cromanhook goes to the 10, playing attacking center mid. Shepard playing back at the 6 now, as the back line remains the same. Jen Rockwood making tactical changes. BYU pressing for an equalizer. We're in the 72nd. A cross coming from the left. Hernez eyes it all the way and snags it, no trouble. 3 subs soon to enter for the Cowgirls as we get late here at Southfield. The drama building. It's only an exhibition match, but the desperation mounting for BYU to find something.
Well, and just to be able to get that goal. As we've mentioned so many times, this is a BYU team that scores a lot of goals, and so to be unable to do so, if it were to stand in 2 games, I think it's very much a warning point for this team. And so for their own preparation for the season, they'd like to get on top of the board.
Again, something to build on for the Badgers as they step up a level considerably next Thursday with Wisconsin coming to town. With their longtime head coach and great pedigree there in the Big Ten. The play is left. Jordan Grease, marked by Freeman, wheels away from Freeman. Grease centrally. Bedard chipping to Ballack. Defensively there is Frischnecht and plays to the touchline. Wyoming wins a throw. Here come subs, 4 of them for Coach Purdom. It was in the 35th minute. The only goal coming from Gabby Clutter just after checking in late in the first half. A play just outside the 6 and a stretch of the leg, back of the net.
And she just timed it so perfectly. She's just waiting for the ball to come in before she makes that attack. And it comes in.
In this increasingly dramatic affair, Cowgirls lead BYU in shots 11-10. The Cougs still the edge in shots on goal 7-4. Of the 12 fouls, 10 whistled against Wyoming. The corners are equal. The scoreline unequal in Wyoming's favor. We're in the final 15 plus here at Southfield. Will the Cougars draw level and give themselves something positive to take into next week? Of course, they'd love to find at least 2 late goals, but just something to get on the board in the exhibition slate. And there's a journey of discovery for Jen Rockwood and the Cougs. Cross from the right, a chest down by Dixon, and she blasts clear. Fryer has Bailey racing ahead, and Fryer catches back up to the ball in the center circle, with bodies converging on Fryer. Fryer still on the dribble. What a run for Alley. Alley into the half space left side. Fryer knocked down, and the whistle stays unblown. Fryer gets the ball back down again. And the referee unmoved, shaking her head. Shaking her head no, but a corner will come to BYU. Jen Rockwood in discussion with the 4th official.
Yeah, you see
arguing
right
a clear body check.
Yeah, there's no play on the ball. The ball doesn't change its progression in any way.
That is a straight body check, unwhistled, short corner.
It's wild how many calls have gone missed in this game.
And a save from Bartell to keep it 1-0. Good look off the set piece. The short corner gave the Cougs an excellent look. And it rolls to the body of Bartell, who bends to receive and keep it 1-0. Long ball right. The Cougars have certainly amped up the intensity and the opportunity. Carla, it feels like a goal might be in the offing.
Well, you can feel the energy, particularly coming from Fryer. Perhaps she is the player that's going to lead this team to move forward. She dropped back into very much a midfield position to try to get the ball.
Kromenhoek. Labrum. Well done by Labrum to get into the 18. Goes down, battle for the ball. Cowgirls emerge. Kromenhoek challenges, and she's cut down by Furrow. 2 Cougs on the pitch right now. And Kromenhoek yet to get to her feet. She'll be helped to her feet and will play on.
Furrow's going to get in the book as we see another yellow card. This is the 2nd yellow card given towards Wyoming for a late tackle, coming cleats up. And here was the play just a minute earlier. Labrum trying to get in. That one perhaps a little bit more difficult for the call.
But a free kick about 10 to 12 yards outside the 18, severe angle left. Shepard plays far post, and a punch over by Bartell. Nice placement by Shepard.
What a cheeky ball. I love that. That's such a hard ball to hit, and she made it look so easy. Has some good zip on it, too.
The Cougs are coming closer. Another corner.
Yeah, BYU is going to bring almost their entire defensive line up. Going to leave Tara Warner, the lone defender, in the back.
And maybe a bit of a mishit, but Wyoming played out. The Cougs will do it again with Bailey at the attacking right. 1-0 Wyoming on a 35th minute marker. Short. Bailey. Ball 1 away from Bailey. Warner in the 78th finds Freeman. Freeman down the boundary. Works into the half space, but the last touch gave it away. Racing to it to keep it in the attacking third is Frischnecht. Frischnecht all the way into the deep right wing from her center back position, but can't keep control of the ball. Substitution, Cowgirls. Jazzy Barella enters. Exiting is Jordan Grease. Thursday night, opening night of the college soccer season. 8 Eastern on SEC Network Plus. Houston Cougars take on the former Big 12 members, the 17th ranked Texas Longhorns. Then at 9 Eastern on ESPN Plus right here in Provo. 19th ranked Wisconsin, 3rd ranked BYU. Labrum at 25 yards. The play is left. Fryer. Fryer all over the pitch here in the second half. Rustan. Back to Fryer. Fryer gave away, and the Cowgirls play away. There was a foul behind the play. I think whistled against Alley. Is that right, Carla?
Yes. And this gives Wyoming time to stall. That being said, when Wyoming does have their opportunities, they've been going for it. So it has not been all time wasting for the Cowgirl squad, as they, you can tell, are still amped to be able to get a second one.
New rule change this year, as we'll let this Barella play out. Barella and Freeman race to the ball. Barella and Freeman at the end line. Freeman wins it, clears it, but only to about 20 yards. Now it settles for Warner. She'll play to the center circle. Rule change in college soccer this year. In the final 15 minutes, which we're in right now, when the leading team subs, the clock will stop automatically. Or if it's a tie game in the final 15, the clock will stop on all substitutions.
The soccer purists hate it. They feel like it takes away from some of the tactics of the game. But for those who are tactically finding themselves down, it evens out the playing field to be able to stop the clock, especially when you're deep into the game.
It takes away a stalling tactic. And of course, no stoppage time and no overtime in the regular season now. Ties are back in the game as of last year. But in the postseason, the golden goal does return this year. Service from the left. Defensive nod down by the Cowgirls. It's Bedard. Just turns on it and blasts it into touch. We're in the 80th minute, and the Cowgirls keep a lead. Emma Hamberlin will check back in for BYU momentarily. 2 subs back in for Josh Purdom when they're next beckoned. Much more play in the Cougars' attacking half here in the last half hour. Most of it's been with Wyoming defending, but defending capably so far. 3 subs in for Wyoming and Hamberlin in for BYU. Hamberlin in for Allie Fryer. Allie may be out to get a blow and then come in for a final push.
And she's been doing quite a bit of running. Allie's been involved in almost every single play. She's one of the more fitter players on this team. As Coach Rockwood said, she stayed over the summer and worked on her fitness, is coming back. Again, super fit, but that being said, she has put in a lot of miles, not just here, but in the last game against UVU. And then the last week and a half, BYU has been go as far as the preseason trainings.
You'd think they'd want to get Fryer back in the closing moments. Jen Rockwood engaged in conversation with her star striker right now. 19 goals on Allie's tally. Nothing for BYU tonight as a team. Clutter, the goal scorer, just finds an open space on the pitch. Freeman closes it, finds it. Warner is picked off, and here comes Bedard from the top of the 18, putting it to her left. A nice win by Frischneck while on the ground, and then Frischneck is shoved down, drawing a foul. Nice play by Avery. That was tough. 1v1 against Bedard. Finds herself on her backside making a play.
Yeah, it's a good stick as she times it. Bedard tries to take her on left. You'll see the stick here. Try to get the ball, immediately gets up with the foul, but that's enough just to slow the play, and it's enough to allow her defensive line to come and recover behind too. Even if Bedard wins it, she now has to face 2 and 3 players.
Win by Dixon, trying to send Hamberlin through. Hamberlin, half space right. Hamberlin accelerate to the touchline. Tap out there by Taylor Brook, in a corner for BYU. That'll be corner number 9 for the Cougs. 9 corners for BYU to Wyoming's 5. And the Cougs keep the pressure on here late in the match. 82nd minute, Hallie Dixon lines up the attacking right flag corner. High lofter, far post, clean catch, Bartel.
Yeah, Bartel making it look easy. She's surrounded by players. Erin Bailey is in her face. She comes right up, snags it.
That's a catch of the corner, but she does have 8 saves on the register tonight. A low punt, kind of a mishit that goes to the boot of Kromenhoek. Now Dixon. Right wing Bailey. Bailey loses, tries to win back, cannot do so, and Wyoming plays into the attacking half. I called Bedard a moment ago when it was Glover. Now it is Bedard, ball at her boot. Alyssa Bedard 4, Alyssa Glover 14. And Bedard's cross is deflected and collected by Presley Freeman. Quillisi Quain into the 18. Low service. Glover crossed the top of the 6 and blasted clear. Rebound shot in and blocked by the Cougs. Give away. Clutter. Freeman wins the ball back away from Clutter on the end line. It'll be a goal kick. Substitutions for both sides. BYU will bring in Caroline Stringfellow for Aaron Bailey. So now it's Bailey and Hamberlin up top. Maddie Chance and Hadley Linder check in for Coach Purdom. Checking out Bliss Quillisi Quain and Gabby Clutter, the goal scorer in the 35th minute. That's the only goal in a 1-0 match. And we get later at Southfield, 7+ to play. The Cougs just don't lose a lot. Again, 4 losses in their last 40 games overall.
And especially here at Southfield.
An undefeated season last year. This would not count toward that record as it is exhibition. Nevertheless, losses here are rare indeed. Been almost 2 calendar years since BYU took an L on this pitch. Stringfellow among those looking to avoid that fate here tonight. Rolls the ball to Dixon. Dixon wins it past her mark. But the cross is blocked and Dixon goes down. She'll hop up and she will stay in the play. Now she's holding back well behind play as the ball's played out. And she will try and hobble back into action here.
It's difficult to see what happened. After she released the ball, she immediately held her lower back.
Looked like that kind of strain.
And you hate to
see
that.
She's now jogging it off.
She's been playing so well this game. Would love to be able to see her take players on 1v1.
Abby Carter will take out the aforementioned Hallie Dixon. So Dixon dinged and will now hit the bench as Carter comes in for the final push here for BYU. 84th minute. Wyoming nursing a 1-0 advantage. Blocked to the top of the penalty area. Glover sees it roll to Barella, who blasts over the bar. And 85th minute now for Lynette Hernez to redistribute.
And Wyoming still going to get that second. Barella, again, another one of those substitutes that came in is looking for her own goal. A lot of these window shot opportunities that Wyoming is getting are so small, but you give them credit for taking it.
Hammerlin, a turn, lays off Stringfellow, plays to the left, and a diving stop made by Bartel.
Take a look here. Stringfellow gets the ball. She's on top of the box near the moon. She's looking to go towards the far post.
High punt, knotted down center line. Play forward, but to the Wyoming back line. Long ball left. Freeman plays it out of the air. Cotter nods down. Cotter racing away from defenders. Tripped up, foul, innocuous at that, and with under 5 minutes to play, the Cougs restart to Kromenhoek. Whoa, has run up the back of Ella Labrum, draws a foul. The foul's heavily in the Cowgirls' favor tonight, depending how you look at the word favor. 12 fouls against Wyoming to 3 for BYU. Stringfellow with a win. Well done. Stringfellow lateral, targeting Kromenhoek. A block by the Cowgirls, a keep in the attacking half by BYU, and now a blast clear, giving Chase his chance. Out racing her is Rustand. She'll let it roll out. Can the Cougs find one in the final 4 minutes?
I mean, we've seen crazier comebacks here at Southfield.
Hammerlin gives chase, and a ball played into touch.
I'm uncertain if tonight will be the night, as BYU's just had a hard time collecting on that third ball. But perhaps the Cougs can prove me wrong here to be able to get some good shots.
Kind of a soft header out, but it does the job for Wyoming. They're just trying to relieve the pressure at this point, which they've done into the Cougars' defensive half with 3.5 to play. It's a sprint down the left alley for Rustand. Across to Stringfellow, but the first touch not pure. Just couldn't settle it. It was a nice pass from Rustand, and it found the target, but the settle was hard off the boot, and Wyoming takes advantage to play away.
Yeah, Rustand's another player that I've been impressed with in this match. Has played good defense and has created some chances getting into the attack, mostly coming from crosses, but you want to see that from your defensive players.
88th minute, shots even at 13. Shots on goal in BYU's favor at 9-4. Cowgirls score on 1 of their 4. 9 saves on 9 shots for Haley Bartell. Goal kick with 2.5 to play. How many more chances remain for BYU? Avery Frischnecht starts her progress up the pitch. Nod down Cromanhook. Nod down Cotter. Cotter, edge of the area. Cotter into the 18. Triple teamed. And the ball given away and played away. Cotter slow to get up as the ball rolls out for a Wyoming throw. Final 2 minutes of play here in Provo. .90 seconds plus to find a goal for BYU. Cromanhook with a nice play down the boundary. Is checked down and the ball nudged out. They give BYU a free kick, saying Cromanhook drew the foul. One of the last looks BYU's going to get here, Carla.
BYU's going to put all of their players in. Going to leave Frischnecht the only in the back.
Headed to the top of the 18. Warner placed toward frame. Too many bodies in the way. Freeman gives it a go and sails wide right with a minute to play. And Haley Bartell will take her time. Wyoming is seconds away from a confidence-boosting exhibition victory in the debut of head coach Josh Purdom. It won't count in season standings, but it will count in the hearts of these players and coaches if they can pull this off here tonight.
No, I think he did a great job coaching, and the adaptations that he made at halftime I think really held. I think there's also something to be said for the many multiple subs that he had. He just had fresh legs the entire time, and again, that's an advantage that comes to playing in an exhibition match, is you can sub as many players as you want, but I think that difference really started to show.
20 seconds to find something. Stringfellow settling top of the 18. Ball played away from Caroline. It's to the boots of the Cowgirls with 15 seconds to play. Freeman looking to give BYU a last look. 10 seconds to go. Freeman wide right. Cotter. A final cross. It comes from Cotter. It goes far post. It bounces through the 18 with 3 and with 2 and with 1. That will do it. Wyoming a winner. The clock's at zeros.
There's no buzzer.
And now there was no horn. There it goes. May have come a little late, but Wyoming is a winner. 1-0 in this exhibition finale for BYU at Southfield.
And it's an exhibition match, but this is a huge win for Wyoming. To be able to come into Southfield, which is one of the hardest places to play in the country, and to be able to beat what is a really, historied program in BYU. To be able to come in and get that goal, then to hold the goal. That's, I think, was the most impressive. Clutter's goal was great, but what was most impressive about this Wyoming team is the fact that they could hold the win for a long period of time. Again, they were rewarded and such, and that BYU unable to find the back of the net for the second game in a row.
A few encouraging signs as the game got later for BYU, perhaps as things got more desperate, but I think Jen Rockwood would say that through 2 matches, she's still searching for the right combinations right now.
Well, and that's what these exhibition games are for, and I think she knew that going into it. That's why she scheduled for the first time in program history 2 exhibition games, because she wanted to be able to have these 2 matches under her belt before going up against Wisconsin. And you're right, Greg, I think even now there will still be some experimenting with lineups and with players playing together. There are players that have bright spots, that have good moments, but they haven't yet been able to work together and connect that and put it together as one.